This is your man Trey, also known as Yashar.
Hi, my name is Haley Underwood. Welcome to First Tabernacle Fellowship
At Sacramento, California, where we teach the Most High's covenant and we walk in his ways as best as we can.
You're watching Yahweh's Exiled Empire.
There's a whole lot of people that don't know that the law and the Torah are the teachings and the instructions of the Most High to his people, not only to his people, but all who have an ear to hear. This is Moray Robert B. Holman Jr. and
Moray Sean Appleton.
and we're so glad to be here one more again.
Yeah, just to tell it.
Like it
T.I.
is.
is. And this has been what? Hebrews in exile. We forgot about that.
That's what we are.
Yeah,
We are in exile.
very much so.
And you know what? It's interesting that when I talk to people, my brother and I were having a conversation today about the situation that we're confronted with. And we were talking about how our people are waiting for things to change. And, you know, I told him, I says, they're waiting for things to change and they don't realize that they are the subject to which, if they did the right thing, things could change. We were talking about how this nation is inflicting chaos upon humanity, and how that our people don't realize and recognize how it's affecting them, because the atrocities are not them.
Okay.
Case in point,
Okay.
right now, the melanated man, the black man, is not being drug out of his house, not being separated from his family, torn away from his children, like the Hispanics are.
Oh, with the ICE thing
Yeah,
that's going on.
yeah.
Okay.
I said, but while that's the case, they don't realize the effect that the policies that are being made by this government are affecting them. Case in point, a majority of our people work for the government,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that are getting laid off and have gotten laid off in the beginning of this administration. They don't realize how the economic situation is affecting them. But, you know, he said to me, he says, well, yeah, we go through all that stuff, but we, you know, we survive it. We figure out a way to survive it, you know, and get comfortable. I said, yeah. I said, that's my point. I said, my point is the Most High raises the temperature to try to get his people to recognize what he's doing and get them to repent and turn back to him. And all they do is, like the little eagle in the nest, find a place where there's no thorns and get comfortable again.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done down through history. And, you know, we've done the same thing. You know, I said, well, we've got some black billionaires, millionaires. I says, and they're not doing anything or their share to help their people, which is what the nation of Hebrew Israel is supposed to do.
Sure, sure.
And I says, well, it is, that's just the way it is. But anyway.
Well, hold on. It's a shame that I look at text and what you're saying, and it's a shame that our people are always an example of a cautionary tale. To say this, the Most High has given us up front, if you do what I say, that I told you to do, none of these atrocities will beset you. It's our legacy now to actually go through stuff, to make, to the barbers, what he's talking about, is saying, well, we get through it. Well, we don't have to go through it.
Right.
There's a preventative measure that says if you do these things, you won't have to experience this. But I guess we have to keep continuing to touch the flame.
Yeah, and that's what I said to him. I says, do you realize? I says, the problem with our people is they don't know who they are.
Right. 100%.
If they knew who they were, and if they recognize that they have the force of the universe behind them, if they would just straighten up and fly right. I said, do you realize that when we look at the history of our people, when we were in right standing with the Most High, the nations feared us.
Sure. Yeah.
And their testimony was, we've heard about you.
Right. Right. And we don't want to be beset by the thing, but what you going to do to us?
And I says, do you realize that the history of our people was that when we left Mitzrayim, Egypt, going into the wilderness, we had so much wealth. And we've talked about this before with the building of the one room.
Yeah.
It says, you realize that when the Most High told Moshe that, he needed to build a place where he could dwell amongst them and ask them to bring an offering for building the Mishkan. And they brought so much that they had to tell him, don't bring no more.
Right. Right.
And the one room was like, what, 80 million?
It's like, in today's money, it would be like 60 some odd million dollars.
60 some odd $million for the Mishkan.
Yeah. All the gold, all the silver, the bronze is put
in.
Just the material.
And that's just material. That's not construction.
Right.
That's just material. $60 million in today's cost is what our people were carrying in the wilderness. And then he told them, don't bring no more. You brought enough.
Right.
That meant that they brought, and they still had wealth left over.
100%.
I says, and our people they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Consequently, we are destined to be in the plight that we are, begging for help, trying to legislate equality. You're not supposed to be equal with these people. You're supposed to be ahead of them.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be begging you for equality.
That's right. That's right. You're the Most High set apart people.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I happened to be going through my email this morning, and I go through it every morning. It's just not happened since I go through my email, but this one was over in a place that I would normally just go in and delete.
Oh, okay.
But I saw the date on it was 2:46 a.m. this morning.
That's somebody's, looks like they across the pond.
The gentleman's name is Shadrach Otino.
Okay.
Hailing from a place you and I have been to.
That would be in
Eldoret,
Kenya. Yeah. Okay.
Hailing from the serene town of Eldoret, Kenya. I'm reaching out to you today express the profound impact your website has had on my life and the lives of many of my community. Born and raised in Catholic faith, my family and I were devout followers of its teachings. However, a significant shift occurred when I stumbled onto your website. I haven't been on our website in a minute.
Neither have I. I haven't been there in a while.
For several months, I immersed myself in your teachings, and they resonated with me in a way that I had never experienced before.
Okay.
I have to repent. I don't know what's on the website anymore. I know I went in there and I changed a lot of things and cleaned up a lot of things and took out a lot of the Jesus stuff that we had in there and a lot of stuff that was upside down.
And our teachings are accessed through either our app or if there's something that's on the website that points you to YouTube. So if that person...
Well, I don't know if he's been on YouTube or not.
Okay.
Didn't say so. He said, they opened my eyes to a different perspective, one that left more aligned, that felt more aligned with my beliefs and understandings. This awakening led me to make a heartfelt decision to leave the Catholic Church behind and embrace your teachings wholeheartedly. Well, they're not my teachings, they're the teachings of the Most High.
Correct.
I wasn't alone in this transformation. I shared my newfound understanding with my rural community. Today, we are an assembly of 17 brethren who have all chosen this path together.
Okay.
Our community is flourishing as more souls join us on this journey.
Okay.
In light of our growing congregation, I humbly request your assistance in providing us with scriptorial booklets and teachings. These resources would be invaluable in guiding us as we nurture our congregation in the remote and humble village we call home.
Okay.
Now, you and I have been talking about transition.
Yeah.
Okay? And here we are, all the way in our homeland.
Okay.
With people asking us for information to help them make a clean transition and understanding the Hebraic way.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, I think it's a beautiful thing. You've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks about the rattling of the bones.
Yes.
About individuals waking up to the idea and acquiescing information and changing their lifestyle to be more in line with the ways of the Most High, because people are starting to see the value. They're starting to see the flaws that are in Christianity. They're waking up and coming out of the matrix, and they're hungry for information. And again, it has to start from here, asking the question, Most High, I want to know your truth. And truth cannot come with conditions that says, I want to know your truth as long as it's in line with Jesus Christ. Or I want to know your truth as long as it's in line with some other ideation that you might have. Truth is going to come the way the Most High is going to serve it. And the best way to do that is to get to know the Most High.
Right.
Start at the beginning and go forward. The information that these individuals are seeking is readily available and free online.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you have acquiesced to or have access to I'm going to call it the Bible, start in the beginning with that group of 17 and just start reading forward.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
You have a small assembly. Your assembly is probably
Yeah.
more, comparable to what we have here, but it is a start to say, okay, we're going to learn the Most High's teachings and move forward. But it's a great start.
I mean, the thing that strikes me is that what should be happening here in America is happening there.
Sure.
I mean, he stumbles onto our website, and he gets hooked on the information that's there.
Okay.
So I responded to him and told him that, I see that you have access to the internet.
Yes.
And if you really want to engross yourself in our teachings, go to Yahweh's Exiled Empire on YouTube.
100%.
And you can listen to our teachings by the Moray, Sean Appleton.
And the Moray, Robert B. Holman Jr. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm on to you.
Who is a very apropos teacher of Torah principles, and immerse himself in those things, and he would be greatly helped. Now, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, you know what? I'm reflecting I'm going to pivot real quick. I'm reflecting on this time of the year, how it is in contrast to what we're going through. As I was leaving my house and I was getting ready to come over here today, I noticed something that was going on in the United States, around in each of the neighborhoods. You start seeing pumpkins, you start seeing witches' hats, you start seeing zombies, which Jesus is because he got up from the dead. That's what a zombie does. I'm sorry. We're supposed not to talk about him.
You just can't
stop.
Can't leave him alone, can you?
Oh, look at my hands and my feet. No, I'm kidding. I'm starting to notice all these things. And I'm saying, wow, the world is completely enamored with not knowing the Most High at all. For us Hebrews and people that are close to the Most High, this is a portion of the year that is very set apart for us. It's a very solemn portion of the year. Whether or not you are on solar or lunar, it doesn't matter. The issue is that this portion of the year in the 7th month is a very set apart time. We started out with Yom Teruah. Most people might know it as Rosh Hashanah. We go to Yom Kippur, and then we go to Sukkoth. It's very set apart. But the world, on the other hand, has stepped into this idea of Halloween and ghouls and goblins and all those types of things and that are not even, and this is the funny thing, because I remember being in the Christian church and they used to have, trick-or-treating and all that kind of stuff going on in the church.
And dunking for apples?
Yeah. All those types of things that are pagan in their inception have crept their way in there under the guise of innocence.
Yeah.
Just like with Christmas and everything else. It's under the guise of, it's for the children. It's just a time when we get together to do. They don't understand where the root of all this stuff is. So my mind goes to that and say, man, as the world prepares to serve the pagan portion of the world, we're constantly preparing ourselves for a new era. We finish out our Moedims, completing them. If you're in the lunar calendar, you're getting ready to start yours in another 9 days. But we observe those mitzvot, and we have now become washed and clean in the sight of the Most High as a community as we finish Sukkot and as we move towards our next festival, which is Pesach in the spring. So my mind is just reflecting on the fact that this is a part of the year. You've always talked about it too. You said, watch, after around Yom Kippur, start looking at the internet. You're going to see certain people dropping like flies.
Yeah, they've already started.
They've already started.
Oh, yeah.
It reigns true every single year.
Between the beginning of the high holy days, through that period, and particularly after the after the time of atonement, into the spring of the year, that window in there, you find that there are a lot of people that died during that period of time. And you find that And the reason why you see it mostly because you see a lot of the celebrities start dying between in that window of time. You know, the question is, the Most High says write the vision and make it plain. Mini tikel imparze. You have been found wanting. You have been found wanting. You have been found lacking. You have been found wanting in my sight. And you know, your day has come.
Yeah.
And we wonder why it is that so many people die before we think is their time. Young and action and vibrant and what have you and so forth and so on, but and they're gone as if for no reason, but we don't understand the dynamics of what's in play.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just like I said, that was my reflection, just because you know, again, it's one of those things where under the guise of innocence, it's crept into different places and part of our culture here in the Western world, and people don't take the step to investigate, which I know you've done a expose on it, what Halloween is, what it stands for, where all this stuff comes from. I mean, from top to bottom, it's just wrong, period. But it's been so commercialized and made innocent that people just don't know. But again, it's in direct contrast to, it's kind of ironic that it happens during the same time of the year that we are set apart for the Most High. So, clear distinction.
We happen to be getting, we are in, talking about periods of time. We are in a period of time that is referenced in text as the end of days. You ask me, well, when did the end of days begin? Well, the end of days began with the opening of the book of Daniel. Shut up these things until the end, the knowledge will increase, so forth and so on. Well, knowledge has increased in the world, in the land.
Yeah, exponentially, yeah.
And with the opening of the World Wide Web, there's nothing that you can think that you can't search and find and get the knowledge of. I look into the book of Ezekiel.
Okay.
I was looking for something else, but this popped up in my search, because I was trying to find the text that deals with the Valley of the Bones. But he says here in Ezekiel chapter 34, I'm going to read verse 1, I think.
Okay.
Ooh, there's so much highlighted here.
Your book looks like, your thing looks like Trey's Bible.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, you need Ezekiel 37 if you want the dry bones.
Huh?
Ezekiel 37.
Good. We're going to go there in a minute.
Okay.
But let's go, goodness gracious, let's go to 33 and 30.
33 and 30, okay.
Ezekiel 33 and 30. Now you, human being, your people are gathering and talking about you by the walls and in the doorways of houses. They are saying to each other, each one telling his brother, come, let's go and hear the latest word coming from Yahweh.
Hey!
I mean,
come on.
How apropos is that in relationship to time? So then they come to you as people do, sit in front of you as my people, and hear your words, but they don't act on them. For with their mouths
33 and 30.
they flatter you, but their hearts are set on their own self-interests. So for them, they are like a love song sung by someone with a nice voice who can play an instrument well. They hear your words, but they don't act on them. So when all this comes true, then at last they will realize that a prophet has been there with them. Okay?
Wow.
34.
34. Yeah, let's keep going.
The word of Yahweh came to me, human being, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy, tell them, the shepherds, that Yahweh Elohim says, woe to the shepherds of Israel who feed themselves. Shouldn't the shepherds feed the sheep? Now, I know, and you know, okay? We know who Israel is.
Sure.
We know who Israel is.
Yes, sir.
Israel doesn't know who Israel is.
Yes, sir.
So if Israel reads this text, they think it's talking about someone that's not them.
True. Agreed.
But let's go back up here, back at 30.
Okay.
They come, let's go hear the latest word coming from Yahweh. So they come to you as people do, sit in front of you as my people, hear your words, but they don't act on them. Are they hearing us?
They hear us, but they don't act on it.
For with them their mouths, they flatter you.
Yep, that's
But their
true.
hearts are set on their own self-interest.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I sit and talk to people, and, you know, the ambassadors and the various, we sit and we talk to people. I mean, you know, I spend time talking and giving my time to people, and they're all flattered and enamored. But their self-interest gets in the way
Absolutely.
of truth.
Right. 100%.
Now, these individuals don't know. Here's what they don't know, because they don't know they're Israel. They don't know they are the shepherds that the Most High is talking about. The word of Yahweh came to me, human being, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel.
Okay.
They don't know that they are the shepherds of Israel.
Are you talking about these leaders?
Yes.
These leaders that sit up there
Yes.
every single Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. We got it.
Are they not?
Yes, they are.
Are they not Israel?
Yes, they are. Will listen to you speak, give flattering words, but it don't reconcile with my self-interest is about what my religion is about. So that's all fine and good that you know all that, but
Listen to verse 3. Now, verse 3 is literal and metaphoric language. Okay? You eat the choice meat, you clothe yourselves with the wool, you slaughter the best of the herd, but you don't feed the sheep. What have we heard? We've been there. We've been in the house. We listened to them. What do they look like?
very opulent.
Very opulent. Very strong.
Yeah, 100%.
Very, what's the word I want to look? Affluent.
Sure. Agreed.
That's the choice meat.
Yeah. Agree?
You don't strengthen the weak, heal the sick, bandage the broken,
Yeah.
bring back the outcast, or seek the lost. On the contrary, you tyrannize them with crushing force. So they were scattered without a shepherd and became food for every wild animal. They were scattered. Every wild animal, once again, is metaphoric language.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, that's, yeah.
My sheep wandered around aimlessly on every mountain and hill. Yes, my sheep were scattered all over the land with no one to search for them or to look after them. There is my key point.
Who's looking after them?
No one's searching for them. That's the reason I asked the question.
look for
I
the
said,
sheep, yeah.
what are we doing?
Right. What is the purpose?
What's the purpose? What are we doing?
Well, okay. Go ahead. Because, okay. Cutting out the fat. It's happened several times in this house. Got it down to the purest of the pure, so we can have an understanding and a foundation solid enough to do what you're talking about now. Could we be in this spot any other time than now?
No.
So that's what I would offer in the timing of our matriculation to where we are. This is right where we need to be. Now we're at the point where we say, you've got this. Now go get them folk.
You see, he says these words in one text of scripture, which I don't remember where it is. He says, I will look for Israel myself.
Okay.
Now, when you hear those words, you sit back and think, well, I don't have to do anything. The Most High is going to look for Israel himself. Well, the Most High is a spirit.
Right.
So how is the Spirit going to look for Israel himself? What's the conduit that he's going to use to do the investigatory work?
Us. Here, that's in the Reds. People that know and observe the lifestyle and can show others how to do so.
The Most High has always worked through humanity
Sure.
to do his bidding and to do his will. He places the unction within the hearts of people that resonate with him, people that are true to him, people that hear his voice, people who walk in his rulings and his teachings. And he gives them the unction to go out and do his bidding, which I come to you and I come to this house where we gather and I ask us a question. What are we doing? Are we doing the mandate that's set before us? What's the mandate that's set before Hebrew Israel? Teach the nations. He didn't tell us to have a mandate to build a mega congregation. He gave us the mandate to teach the nations.
So again, yeah.
And we get enamored in the little house that we have and the few people that we have. And I'm not just speaking about us. I'm speaking about Hebrew Israel everywhere. The mandate of the Most High is larger than your little house.
True. True.
And we should be putting forth every ounce of energy and spirit that we have in us to go meet the mandate.
Sure.
My sheep are wandering aimlessly on every mountain and hill. My sheep are scattered all over the land, and no one is searching for them or looking after them. That's Ezekiel.
Speaks to
No
today.
one is searching and looking after them. Talk is cheap.
Sure.
We need action.
Yep.
Therefore, shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh. As I live, Yahweh Elohim swears, because my sheep have become prey, my sheep have become food for every wild animal since there was no shepherd, since my shepherds didn't look for my sheep, and instead my shepherds fed themselves, but not my sheep. Therefore, shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh. Elohim says, I am against the shepherds. I demand that they hand my sheep back to me. I will not allow them to feed the sheep, and they won't feed themselves either. I will rescue my sheep from their mouths. They will be food for them no longer.
I will rescue my sheep from their mouths.
You see, I really believe that that's what's in the works.
The Most High's, yep. Slow. Hey.
And all he needs is one somebody to hear his voice and begin to act. And if that one somebody will hear his voice and act, he'll do the rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And here's my text that I just quoted.
Yeah, you was looking for 11 is right there.
For here is what Yahweh Elohim says, I'm taking over. I will search for my sheep and look after them myself. Just as a shepherd looks after his flock when he finds himself among the scattered sheep, so I will look after my sheep. I will rescue them from all the places where they were scattered. When it was a cloudy and dark, I will bring them back from those peoples, gather them from those countries, and return them to their own land. That's the back end of the process.
Correct. 100%. 100%.
So now,
and that's interesting that the Most High says that. He says, I'm going to do it myself. You're not going to, no man is going to come do it. I'm going to do it.
well, but you see, I hear you putting emphasis on it, but he's going to do it. But the question is, how is he going to do it?
Yeah.
Because the how is still always through a conduit.
Sure.
And that conduit is through humanity that he can trust.
Right. I was making, when I made that statement, I am 100% with you. I was making that statement to take a dig across the street. Your conduit is to get to the Most High is not going to be through some person, some demigod.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's not going to be through that. It's going to be, you're going to be having a direct relation to the Most High by way of hearing, seeing the lifestyle. And again, you're going to have, Hebrew Israel's always had teachers. They've always had the Leviim. They've always had the Perishim. They've always had these individuals that are the judges, leaders, all those folks that were there to articulate what's been in the mitzvot to the people. So yes, it's always been through a conduit of physical people, but those people have already sought the ways of the Most High. There's nobody interceding in standing in the gap,
right,
if I can use their language,
right,
to get to the Most High.
Now, when he talks about, I will gather them from the country, return to their own land, Then I will let them feed on the mountains of Israel by streams and in all livable places of the land. I will feed them in good pastures. Their grazing ground will be the high mountains of Israel. They will rest in good grazing ground and feed in rich pastures on Israel's mountains. Yes, I will pasture my sheep, and I will let them rest, says Yahweh. I will seek the lost, bring back the outcast, banish the broken, strengthen the sick. But the fat and the strong I will destroy. I will feed them with judgment. Now, all of this language here is on the back end that is in reference to Israel's time when she is redeemed out of this exile back into the land.
Agreed.
Now,
Agreed.
we get down to verse 23.
Okay.
I will raise up one shepherd
Okay, here we go. All
to
right.
be in charge of them. He will let them feed my servant Jesus Christ. He will pasture them and be their shepherd. No, I read that wrong.
Yes, you did.
I read that completely wrong.
Yes, you
That's
did.
not what the text says.
But that's what they're thinking when
Well,
they
how can they think that? Let's what am I looking
you
at?
said the quiet part out loud.
34 and 23. Let's look and see how the King James reads that.
Okay.
Where are you, King? New King James Version. 34 and 23. Oh, I will establish one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, my servant David. And he shall feed them and be their shepherd. And I, now here comes the change. I, the Lord, will be their God. So, if I read the King James Version, and it says, I, the Lord, will be their God, I'm going to ask a Christian, who's that? Who is that in your mind? If you're reading the King James Version, who is I, the Lord? Who is that?
Yeah, I mean the typical. Well, go ahead. No,
really. Who is that? Who do you think they're going to tell me that
They're going to
is?
tell you it's Jesus.
Well,
That's what they're going to tell you it is.
and they're going to tell me that because they're going to say that oh, Lord. They're going to say that he said, I and the Father, we are one. That's what they're going to say. It's in their text.
Yeah. Okay.
But
That don't establish that nowhere over here.
No.
Right? But I understand what you're saying.
No,
yes.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Getting back to
I want you to get down to 28.
In the King James,
Yeah, of 34.
34, 27. Well, let's go. 20. I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David, a prince among them. Okay? He's just going to be a prince among them? No, he's going to be a king among them.
Right.
I will make a covenant of peace with them and cause wild beasts to cease from the land, and they will dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. I will make them, our seasons are marked by moedims.
Correct.
So he's saying that I'm going to have showers to appear during their seasons of moedims.
Sure.
Where am I reading?
Yeah, go 26.
there shall be, or
Go
27.
back up 20, 20. If you want to go up, you go back to 25. I'll make a covenant of peace.
No, I already read that.
Okay, all right. 20, where you going to go?
27.
27, okay.
Then the trees of the field shall yield their fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase. They shall be safe in their land, period. They shall know that I am the Lord when I have broken the bands of the yoke and delivered them from the hand of those who enslave them. Now, the problem with the text in the Greek and the Hebrew in the King James reading is they use this transposed word Lord where it should be Yahweh. If I'm reading the Hebrew, if I read this in the Hebrew, it's not going to say Lord. It's going to say Yod He Vav He.
Okay, and it does.
And they shall no longer be the prey for the nations.
Okay. This says Goyim over here. The nations being who? The Gentiles?
Yes.
So,
Well, the Hebrew word for nations is goyim.
right. So, how in the world does Christ die? Now, walk me through this. Christ die, and it's for the world, which would include the Goyim. But over here, he's saying that I'm going to deliver you from the Goyim. So it can't be talking about, okay, this is getting into another philosophical thing that we already talked about, but keep going. I just wanted to point that out. This is a contradiction that's here, that I'm rescuing you from a group of people that you now are saying it's opened up to everybody. It can't be opened up to everybody.
No.
According to this, it can't.
No. Because he's telling you, I'm going to rescue you from them.
From the Gentiles, from the Goyim, from the nations.
Now, with that thought in mind, if we go over, I think it's in Romans, where it talks about being grafted in.
I was going to get ready to go there. You're grafted in.
That the Gentiles have been grafted in. No, they haven't. Where in Hebrew text does the Most High talk about any nation of people being grafted in to Israel? As a matter of fact, the very idea of grafting violates a mitzvot.
Of mixing?
Of mixing. You shall not mix one seed with another seed. So now, if you're doing grafting, you're mixing something in with something that wasn't supposed to be in that. It's mixing.
Sure.
That you shall not mix one seed with another seed. That's a mitzvot in the book of
Devarim. We just read
Devarim.
it. Yep. It's either in 20. It's somewhere between 22 and 23, somewhere in there.
They shall dwell safely, meaning Israel, and no one shall make them afraid. I will raise up for them a garden of renown, and they shall no longer be consumed with hunger in the land, nor bear the shame of the nations, the Gentiles, anymore. Thus they shall know that I am the Lord their God. I am, now the Hebrews text is going to say, they shall know that I am Yahweh their Elohim, am with them, and they, the house of Israel, are my people, says Yahweh Elohim.
Full stop.
You are my flock, the flock of my pasture. You are men, and I am your Elohim, says Yahweh your El.
I don't know if you can get any more clearer in 30 that this is a specific and very germane to Hebrew Israel. It says the house of Israel. This is not to everybody. So
now I'm reading this. I'm reading this from the King James for those of you that say, well, what Bible are you reading from? What Bible are you reading from? Well, I'm reading from your text. But your text has been altered by the nations and eradicated and moved the name of the Most High out of text 68,000 times, replaced it with the word Lord, so you would never know that we're talking about the opulent spirit who happens to have a name.
100%. 100%.
Getting back to where we were last week and talking about he so loved the world, he's telling you right here that, number one, I'm going to deliver you from them. And you're not going to bear their shame anymore. So why are you trying to hold on to something I'm going to get rid of?
You know, I got to take a side quest real quick. I'm pontificating and I'm getting on my soapbox. Can I get on my soapbox for a second? I just want to get on my soapbox.
Well,
Can you finish your thought?
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to get on my soapbox.
I know you got a high one, so I'm going to
get on a high horse here.
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to just.
You're just going to listen. Okay. It's going to be quick. It is funny to me on the back end of what you're saying, coming on the heels of what you're saying. It is, again, coming to the forefront of my mind that here, this is one of the arguments that I have with people across the street. If you read text, the Most High is clear about 4 things. Fundamentally, these are the tenets of text, what you call the Old Testament. There's a set-apart people. There's a set-apart land. There is a set-apart Elohim for those people. And there's a set-apart set of regulations, mitzvot, and Torah. After a 400-year dirt nap, the Most High just wakes up all of a sudden and changes his mind and said, you know what? Which is a violation of Bad Midbar, chapter number 23, verse 19, that says, I am not a man, that I can change my mind or lie. Anything that I set out to do, I'm going to do it. So you want me to believe that we got rid of a set-apart land, set-apart people, a set-apart Elohim, and a set-apart set of mitzvot all of a sudden. And this is what I want to, this is my point. I'd be very careful about believing in a God in the New Testament, a demigod, by the way, that will change his mind. What makes you think, if he's over here and he changed his mind about Hebrew Israel and now we're on Christianity, what makes you think that you're so good that he won't change it on you? I'm done with this Christianity thing. I tried it. It's a nice little experiment. Nobody's doing what I'm doing, talking about doing in that particular book either with this Jesus thing. So let's just change it up and do something else. Because now we have a pattern of changing. So what makes you think you're so high and mighty that he's not going to change it again? Since he changed it on us, and clearly here, the Most High says he loves us. He says that we're his treasure. We're the apple of his eye. All of his sight is fixed on Hebrew Israel. When he goes and rescues whomever he's going to rescue Hebrew Israel first.
I tell my people that. I tell them that you are the apple of his eye. I tell them that. I tell them that God loves them. I tell them that the Lord is going to take care of them. I tell them that.
See, you baiting me into something. But see, you know, that's what I'm saying.
I tell them that he's going to deliver them out of all of their troubles. Hasn't he done it in the past? He's certainly going to do it for you. I tell them that.
Oh, okay, so where's your special? Oh, see, now you're going to get me. And who are we talking about?
Jesus.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
He's
okay.
the Lord.
Lord. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. You go ahead with that. I'm. You see, you trying to bait me. You know that I'm right there on the edge. We're getting ready to go in, and I'm trying to keep Jesus out of my mouth. But it's hard. But that's where I'm at.
Hey, I'm just reading the text. I'm reading the text the way it is written in this European New King James Version of Bible, and I'm telling you that every time this word Lord comes up, they think it's talking about him, and it's not. If you ask them the question, who is the mighty one?
They're going to fall back on what they know, which is his Christ character.
You know what? So, who's God to you?
The all-existent one, the beneficent, the one that's created everything in 6 days. He is a spirit, not a man.
Okay.
I got receipts to back that up.
Well, yeah, I know you do, but they don't.
They sure don't. They have a demigod.
I hate using the terminology. When I get through with these things, I have to go home and wash my mouth out.
That's what I'm saying too. We try not.
I have to go home and wash my mouth out. It's that idolatrous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, so he says, I am going to deliver you from the nations. So if he's going to deliver us from the nations, okay, in Ezekiel, then he's going to deliver from something that you said that I'm supposed to love. That doesn't add up. The math, let's put it this way, the math doesn't work.
If math ain't mathin'?
The math don't work. The math don't work.
It sure ain't.
Because let me get back to a rightful text here. Oh, come on. Take me there.
I'm going to pray while you're there. Our Father, who is in the Hashemayim, set apart is your name.
I
me
will raise up 23, 34, 23, one shepherd.
One, yes.
To be in charge of them. He will let them feed my servant David. He will pasture them and be their shepherd. Now, I don't know. Most High is pretty clear when he says something, and if this shepherd was going to be anybody but David, it seemed like he'd have said it through his prophet Ezekiel right here.
Yeah, and you can't go over there to Matthew and go and say that this individual that came down through Abraham, whose stepdaddy was Joseph, is part of this king of lineage of Yehuda. That ain't it. That's his stepdaddy. Okay, he's not blood. Jesus is a Levite because his mama is a Levite.
It's his stepdaddy.
That's his stepdaddy. That's not. He doesn't have an earthly father. So how are you establishing the kingdom through a step? What mitzvot is that? Can you get me back to that says we establish kingship through stepfathers? And this is the issue. That's why I made my statement. When the key, I can't say this, and I'm going to look in the camera and say this. I'm not looking at you because you're going to make me laugh. The key to all this, okay, let's simplify this. You cannot remove the mitzvot from the text. It is a tenet of text. You can't even get past the first chapter in Bereshit or Genesis without having a mitzvot in there. When you extract it out of there, you can make this text about anything. You can make it about Dr. Seuss if you wanted to. And people have eloquently done that because they've turned this Jesus character into that. Without these mitzvot, this means nothing. I'm getting fired.
Really?
Yeah, really. That's what I'm saying. All this stuff that we're talking about now, when I just went over there across the street and talked about stepfathers and all this stuff and establishing Christ's lineage through David and all this stuff, there's no mitzvot to that.
You all don't know how much fun we have having these discussions each week and blowing up that Greek document. I mean, it's so egregious that we can't even have a decent conversation without launching another missile.
Now here's the thing. This is what I got to work on, and this is what I need mentorship with. You do a very good job of this. You know that I'm a loose cannon. I'm a very loose cannon. And when I start talking, I'm going for your jugular. I don't care about your emotions because I don't. To me, it's about truth instead of putting your feelings above what's being. Don't tone police me. Don't do any of that stuff because I'm coming with truth. And if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. So again, I'm gonna have to sit at your feet and get some mentorship because the way I know reaching people, this is what we're talking about, reaching our people. And it has to be done strategically.
Yes.
And it has to be done in a way that is not off-putting.
Yes.
That I know that we're trying. Sometimes I try to jam 7 years or 10 years or a decade's worth of information into a couple of hours in front of somebody, and that's not going to work.
Can't do it. I've done the same thing.
So I got to scale this fervor back.
Yeah, and here's the problem. You and I are we're trying to force feed them 7 to 10 years of information into a 3-hour bit, and it's overload for them, and they never come back.
Right. That's the truth. That is the truth. They get so enamored that they don't know which way to focus. Am I focusing on being Hebrew? Am I focused on these mitzvot?
They're doing this. Now, when I came in, I was not, no.
Right.
I'm having spasm. I don't know what to do. And they never come back to get, you know what? I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
You know what we need to start treating this like?
What's that?
We need to start treating these conversations like a therapist and let them know up front. Okay? This is just an introductory. Mm-hmm. You're going to need to come back for another. You're going to need to come back for another. We don't do that.
Right.
Like, I mean, you talked to the young lady, you loaded her up, okay, but you didn't tell her, you know what, this is introductory to you, and I know I've given you some overload, but you need to come back for another session.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I gave
and
you.
I need to do the same thing. I need to tell these people I'm talking, you need to come. I know you got, but you need to come back for another session. When can we get together again for another session? We need to start doing that.
Yeah, we've given you the overview here. Now let's take these next sections of what we've talked about that you took away from that, and let's just talk about that particular issue, and let's exhaust it so you have an understanding, and then we'll move on to the next issue that was brought up. But I think I take the position of, I don't know when I'm going to see this person again.
No.
I'm loading them up. So please teach me.
No, but that's my point. My point is, we don't know, so we need to establish for them, you and I, we need to get together again on this matter. Let me know, when's a good time for us to continue this conversation?
100%.
We need to, because they've come to us wanting to know.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do.
That's what they hear. They hear the teacher off of Peanuts.
And they're going, and then they get through and they hurtle and they go, and then they ask a question, really? Is that really true?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, and then, I got to go. Well, no. When can we get together again and follow up on this conversation?
100%. 100%. You just answered my question.
Yeah. Now.
Okay.
Ezekiel chapter 37.
All right. Let's talk about these bones.
I'm loading up for this weekend. All this stuff, I hadn't planned on coming and talk about this tonight. But it's in my spirit, so I have to.
Right.
And repetition is good.
Okay. 37. 37 and 1.
37 and 1. Ezekiel is talking with the hand of the Lord, of Yahweh.
Of Yahweh, yes.
With the hand of Yahweh upon me. Yahweh carried me out by his spirit and set me down in the middle of the valley, and it was full of bones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, for our Christian listeners and those of you who don't understand what's taking place here, the bones in the valley are Israel. And for those of you who don't know that you're Hebrew Israel, you be the bones. You're the bones.
100%.
And you're bones because you don't have any meat, sinew, you don't have any substance on you to hold you together. You're just a valley of bones that are rattling. Well, listen. Mm-hmm. He had me pressed by all around them. There were so many bones lying in the valley, and they were so dry. 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 Dry.
Yeah.
What's the metaphor for dry?
The metaphor for dry.
What when you hear the bones were dry, what do you hear? What do you hear that connecting to from a Torah perspective? They're dry.
That's it. The teaching, the lifestyle, the way of the Most High, they're just there. They don't have a connection to any of the things that germane to text at all.
Okay. So let's look at this.
Maybe I'm being a little
No, you're okay. Let's look at it. Let's look at it organically.
Okay.
If I go out in a valley and I find bones, the bones don't have any meat on them. They have no sinew on them. They have nothing on them. They're just dry bones. There's nothing there.
Right.
So Ezekiel is seeing Israel being dry, having nothing there.
Okay.
Our people are in a valley where there's nothing there.
Yeah.
We went and listened to a Christian pastor, and he read scripture, and there was nothing there.
100%. Great analogy. Because it wasn't.
The bones were dry, and they were still dry because there was nothing there. There was no life there. Mm-hmm. There were so many bones lying in the valley. They were so dry. He asked me. Now, Ezekiel is being led in the wilderness. He asked me, human being, the Most High is asking Ezekiel, can these bones live?
Yeah.
I answered, Yahweh Elohim, only you know that.
Yeah.
Then he said to me, prophesy over these bones, say to them, dry bones, hear what Yahweh has to say. To these bones, Yahweh Elohim says, I will make breath enter you, and you will live. I will attach ligaments to you, make flesh grow on you, cover you with skin, and put breath in you. You will live, and you will know that I am Yahweh. Now, you and I, along with the young brethren, and I have to give the young brethren credit. I gotta give the ambassador Trey Beverly, and I have to give the ambassador Johan Tate. I have to give them props.
Okay.
Because the young men don't know. They don't really realize what they've been doing.
Got it.
they don't realize that they have been prophesying to the bones.
Mm-hmm. And on a mass scale.
On a mass scale.
From a social media standpoint.
You know,
yeah.
I get the clips from Ambassador Tate's Facebook page, and he's always hitting them with scriptorial bullets. Moray Beverly, he hits so hard on Instagram and TikTok that sometimes what he says gets taken down or altered in some kind of way.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Really? He's been.
Yeah.
He's part of the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that. You're doing a great job. West Coast. That's what's up.
But my point is, what they're doing here is they're prophesying to the bones. Now, let's go back up to 33.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this for a minute. We're going back to 33. Where was I? I said 33. We were in 33.
Where were you? Were you going back to dry bones?
I'm going back to where we started.
Oh, 30. 33 and 30 is where you were.
33,
now you human
33,
being.
33 and 30, okay.
Come on, talking to you, the ball. No, is that where it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, here's what we hear. Going back to what we started.
Mm-hmm.
Your people are gathering and talking about you by the walls and in the doorways of the houses. They're saying to each other, each one telling his brother, come, let's go hear the latest words coming from Yahweh. So they come to you, as the people do. They sit in front of you as my people. They hear your words, but they don't act on them.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Right. They don't do anything.
See, they hear the young men. They hear us, but they don't act on it. Now we have to ask a question. What's the problem? And that's the and that's the question that none of that we can't answer. Listen, I'm giving you not my words. These aren't my words. Mm-hmm. I'm not reading my words, and I applaud the young men because they'll hit you smack in the mouth with word.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bust your lip. That guy Trey Beverly, he will bust your lip with scripture.
Okay.
Thus says Yahweh. So now you're saying you want to hear, and when I tell you what truth is, you have a problem acting.
Mm-hmm.
For with their mouths they flatter you. Oh boy, young man, you're so knowledgeable with scripture. Right. You're into it. Mm-hmm. But their hearts are set on their own self-interest. Period.
Right.
So now we have to ask, what's the self-interest that's getting in the way?
We're opening up.
Yeah,
open up the floor.
Yeah, what's the self-interest that's getting in the way?
The self-interest is what I think I spoke about to the young lady about what was tantamount to her. What was tantamount to her was eternal life. What was tantamount to her was, how do I deal with sin? I can get around this other stuff. And then the other tenet that was tantamount to them is, what do I do about this Jesus character? And again, this gets back to, okay, if I can acquiesce to it and I understand that, what's the roadblock still? Because they're getting it, but they're not moving on it. And the reason is because there's, in my estimation, There's a loyalty factor that's there. There's an issue that I'm going to be on an island by myself. I'm going to be ostracized from community. I'm going to be ostracized from family. There's more at stake other than just acquiescing to this and say, yeah, I believe it. But everything I've known for the last 20, 30, 40 years is going to put me in a position where I'm going to be alone. And I don't have.
Okay, so here's my answer to that issue, and I'm going to extrapolate it from your text, their text.
Okay.
What does it mean when he says, "Come out from among them and be separate"? What does that mean to you? How does that I know it's been preached over there because I was there and I preached it.
Right.
Come out from among them and be separate. Well, come out from what? In their minds. Mm-hmm. Come out from the influence of your worldly lifestyle.
Okay.
Separate yourself from your worldly lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Stop going to the club. Stop doing the things that, in their minds, how they define a sinner.
Sin, yeah.
Stop doing what sinners do as you define sinners. Come out from among that. When in fact, the text, even across the street, has a reference back to our text.
Come on. You come on.
Because Hebrew Israel was always supposed to be different and separate from the nations.
Yeah.
But they don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, it gets back to those tenets. They have extrapolated or taken out all those mitzvot out of the text. They've taken the Hebraicness out of the text and made it into something that it's not. And so they can make it into anything that they want. That is one of the major tenets. It's been done away with. Get rid of it.
Okay.
Because if you get rid of it, the New Testament can't stand with it in there.
Okay. So, we have a mandate.
Okay.
Ezekiel, in the earlier chapters of Ezekiel, when he ate the whole roll, he said it tastes like honey. Mm-hmm. Most High said, go tell to Israel, and then all of a sudden it was bitter in his mouth. Because he understood and knew exactly what Israel was going to do when he came to them with the words that the Most High had given him to speak. But 34, getting back to Ezekiel 34.
Right at the top.
And
oh, yeah. 34. That first stanza, 34, 1 through 6.
now I'm going to ask you a question again. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Human being, do what? Prophesy against the shepherds of Israel.
Uh-oh.
Prophesy against them. Mm-hmm. Tell them, the shepherds, that Yahweh says, woe to the shepherds of Israel who feed themselves. Shouldn't the shepherds feed the sheep?
Do you realize what you just read?
Yeah, I know. That's why I came back and repeated it.
Here we go. A couple of weeks ago, we went to 2 Christian congregations. And what was the question that we asked ourselves after we came up out of there? We had to wash ourselves what was going on in there because we were doing recon work. But it was, how do we reach them?
Exactly.
And the answer is confirmed right now when you just read it, because out of your mouth you pontificated and said, we have to start at the top.
Got to start at the top.
Where the shepherds are.
Got to start at the top.
We have to start at leadership, get the leadership squared away, and then it will trickle down from the leadership, which is right here in text.
Prophesy against the shepherds. So now, when we talk to the congregants of Hebrew Israel, getting back to chapter 37.
Okay.
Go back there. Let me get back there. Where was I? 30? Oh, get out of there. When we get back to the text of the bones, prophesy to them, the people. I will open your graves and make you get up out of your graves. I will bring you into the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am Yahweh when I have opened your graves and made you get up out of your graves. My people, I will put my spirit in you, and you will be alive.
Yep.
But the issue is, there has to be
somebody
who is willing to speak to them.
Yep, to prophesy to them.
And when we prophesy to them, we have to prophesy against their shepherds. That's what the text says.
That's what it says.
So when we're talking to them, we can't let them off of the hook. We have to tell them, listen, your shepherds are not feeding you. You're dry. You don't even, while you think you have the spirit of the Most High in you, you are dry. You don't have His spirit within you. Let's go to your, oh man. Let's go to your text again, where he said, I will not dwell in an unclean temple. Is your temple clean? How can your temple be clean when you haven't been washed in His word?
100%. Yeah, your definition of clean ain't the same definition the Most High's clean is, right?
How can you be clean and still be a sinner? And how are you a sinner? Do you keep the commandments of the Most High? I ain't talking about the 12.
Right, or the 10
or
that
the 10
y'all want to refer to.
I had one. So the girl said, well, I keep the 10 commandments. I said, do you?
Yeah, do you keep the fourth one?
I think the fourth one's missing.
Yeah, the fourth one's missing, and the first one's missing too.
Yeah.
Because the first one establishes Yahweh as your Elohim to only Hebrew Israel. That's the first command.
So my question in this argument is, well, are you clean or are you not clean? Because does sin represent that which is unclean? Because if sin represents that which is unclean, your text says violation of the law is a sin.
Right. 1 John chapter 3, verse 4.
So I'm just trying to get an understanding.
Right. 100%.
Because your shepherds aren't telling you this, and they're making you believe that you're okay when in the eyes of the Most High, you're nothing but dry bones.
Right. You're right. You 100%. I concur. And I approve this message.
I'm Moray Robert B. Holman Jr., and I approve this message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you see? So as we come to a close on this, I go back to my dear brother in Eldoret, Kenya, who said, I heard or I read your website. Your website has changed my whole demeanor in what I'm doing. I'm renouncing I'm renouncing my affiliation with what I was affiliated with, and I'm engrossed in the teachings that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our dear shepherds in this United States of America should be saying.
100%.
That's what our dear friends that we meet with that are shepherds should be saying.
100%. 100%.
Give me some more.
You're right.
Give me some more. I need some more.
Mm-hmm.
So as we look at this and as we get prepared for our future podcasts, let me give our listeners a head up. I am deeply concerned about my people, and as we've read through the text here in Ezekiel, there's a necessity for us to begin to fulfill the commandment where the Most High says, I will look for Israel myself. He's going to do that through people that he trusts and that is affirmed with his word. So we're going to be talking more about this subject, about how do you transition from where you are to where you should be. And you know, and the key part which you indicated earlier is that the majority of people or that want to do this, they're on an island. They feel like they're on an island by themselves.
Yeah.
We're going to have to allow them to know they're not on an island by themselves. And the whole problem is that we function on physical assimilation, people.
Right, right.
And if I can't assimilate with like-minded people, I feel like I'm all, I need to touch, I need to see, I need to be around like-minded people. And if I'm out here by myself, I don't know what to do. But if you're in the community and if you're in the city around us, then you don't have to be alone. Come and join us. Come and be with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
We don't bite. We only chew up bones.
Right. Right. We stand for what the Most High, the same thing that they're looking for is the same thing that we're standing for, truth, because it matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, this has been Moray, Robert B. Holman Jr.
Moray Sean Appleton.
And this has been Hebrews in Exile. Shalom.
This is your man, Trey.